This podcast is a paid advertisement by Seismic Media Partners on behalf of Only Bulls. IndyCar does not endorse any product or service offered in this podcast. Investing of any kind involves risk. Listeners should not rely on statements made during the podcast for purposes of making any investment decision. Please consult with a qualified professional before investing.
The checkered flag is flown, but there's still time for one more lap around. We're dissecting every turn, pit stop, and strategic moment from this week's NTT IndyCar Series race. The post-race breakdown starts now.
But he needs one more good one to beat Alexander Rossi for the provisional pole. The second to last qualifier, another good exit out of turn number 2, midway point of the back straightaway.
Alex Palou now sets himself up for turn number 3. Knows that he's got a couple of corners left to go here to try to put this car where he wants it to be. He is very, very good exiting turn number 3.
And smooth into turn 4 as well. He's at the quarter exit, heading south to the Yard of Bricks.
231.990, the 4-lap average for Alexander Rossi. Did he do it? Alex Palou, lap number 4, 231.955. Yes, he did. The 4-lap average, 232.248 miles per hour.
And that, my friends, puts the Spaniard on the pole as he begins his quest to be a back-to-back winner in the Indianapolis 500. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jack Arute, along with my partner in crime, Todd Ault. And Todd, you were down there watching this unfold, and you kind of had I guess I could say, a vested interest in one of the drivers, and that, of course, is Felix Rosenqvist in the Meyer-Shank Bitcoin Morgan Wallen car that was bloody quick until the Firestone Fast 6, and then what they do, put a little bit too much downforce in?
I thought we had it. I really did. But then Alex just put down some gigantic numbers. I actually didn't think anyone could beat Rossi. It just seems like he came out of nowhere. And then when you saw Ferrucci kind of throw up 2 miles on that car, it was incredibly fast.
Well, let's retrace. Remember, this is the Alex Palou that just squeezed into the top 12. Qualified 11th in the first round to qualify. Right. And then he moved up the ladder, and they twisted on that car, and they made it better, and then they go out and look, it's the Ganassi way, but also it's Alex Palou. And when I went back and I looked, Todd, at his line, at just the way he goes around that racetrack, he doesn't bury an inch. And if you look on board, and this is what I was mesmerized by, do you think Hollywood is doing a movie where the hands are back and forth just a little bit and you feel like it's not a vibration, but you're struggling with the wheel? Meanwhile, Alex is out there with a smile on his face, and he looks like he's driving to the local coffee shop that he and his lovely bride own in Spain. It just did not look edgy at all.
Yeah, I was surprised, actually, at how many people did not get in the Fast 12. And Alex looked like he wasn't, actually, there was a second there that I think he was going to make it, right? And then all of a sudden, you think everything's going to be fine, and maybe you had a chance of beating this guy. And then he comes. I really thought Felix had it, because in the first, to get to the first 12 and to get to the Fast 6, Felix was killing it. I thought for sure he had it. I didn't think Alex had it today, but as soon as you question him for a second, he beats you. So, and they had the confidence too. It was really interesting. I watched them out there. They all I think they felt like they had it.
Well, when you consider the fact of what he has accomplished over the last 18 to 24 months, it makes all the sense in the world.
Right.
And he certainly. Look, I've been doing this now, partner, for over 50 years. And I can honestly tell you, and that includes the heyday of A.J. Foyt, Dan Gurney, all the truly great Jim Clark, all the truly great drivers that have competed at the Indianapolis 500. I think Alex Palou is such a rare find that he surpasses each and every one of those drivers in terms of the way he approaches his racing, his racecraft, and also the way that he communicates with his team. Let me take you back a couple of years ago. I'll never forget this. And it was just a case where they were getting ready to go out in a more traditional qualifying. Remember where you could withdraw your car, go in the fast lane because it was Saturday. And
that's
all
my
of a
favorite,
sudden,
by the way. That's the best.
Oh, I love it. We were cheated out of it. It's really sad.
It was still fun. I still had a good time, but that's really, there's nothing like, getting in the fast lane, pulling your time, all that. Just the drama with it is just incredible.
But let me go back. So what happens is he's in his car. He didn't have a great qualifying effort in round one, so they put the car back in the fast lane. And the transmission comes from the pit stand. Alex, are you ready to go fast? And he goes, I'm going to go fast. And what I found out afterwards from Barry Wanzer, his crew chief and strategist, was that was a message in code about what they wanted him to do in terms of the initial bar settings on the warm-up lap. But just the way they play the game, it's so far above. And I find juxtapose that to throughout this, it's the 60th anniversary of the Penske racing team pursuing perfection at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, is it not?
Yes.
And yet, and it's always, and you know this because you're good friends with Chip, you know that when Chip started his organization, really all he wanted to do was be like Roger. Sure. Okay, you remember be like Mike, be like Roger Penske. I submit to you that right now, not only is Chip and his operation as good as Roger Penske, but I think in many ways he has cultivated some talent. And I find it interesting that when you combine an Alex Palou and then you take a Scott Dixon, which I didn't realize, this is going to be his 24th Indianapolis 500. I also didn't realize that when he was awarded that knighthood, you know that now you have to call his wife Lady. She has an official title.
There you go.
So there
you
you go.
You know that Meyer Shank and Chip Ganassi have like a
technical alliance,
right? So when I saw both of them up there, one after the other, I thought to myself, that's interesting. They're both really, really fast. And I don't know what happened, why Felix drew off, but I also thought Connor was going to be a little faster. He's still, I think, starting the best he's ever started, but I think he was in the top three going into the fast 12, and I was a little bummed for him, but at the same time, he said it was rough out there and a little scary. So he's still starting 8th, which is incredible for him. And in my research is that's the most common, that 8 and higher is where you win the race. So that's pretty exciting for Connor. But I did want to say that I saw the interview with Stingray Robb, and Stingray Robb was really, really vocal and just said it was terrible. So I would just repeat what he said. He said it was terrible. He was really upset about it, etc. So he's starting 33. So I'm rooting for Rob here because I thought no one's ever won from 33. I think someone's won from 28 one time. But it'd be cool to see someone from the back row. Dennis is back there, and Dennis has been driving to the front like crazy. He drove.
Yeah, I was surprised.
I got to tell you,
surprised at his underwhelming qualification.
Yeah, but I'm excited for Dennis because I think if anybody back there has a chance to get up to the front, it'll be Dennis, and I'm sure they're running a pretty fun strategy to try to get up to the front. He's a good racer, and he has a great personality. He's a great attitude, and I think he has a chance. Even though I know he's starting in row 11, I know that's probably. A pretty rough guess here for me to pick Dennis, but I think Dennis is going to finish in the top 10. There you go.
And if he finishes in the top 10, I think it would be between he and Kyle Collette, and it would be who finishes better in the 500 to earn the Indy 500 Rookie of the Year award. We've had storybooks of people coming from the back and racing to the front. Historically, I believe it's a little over 60% of the winners through the 110 or 109 years of this race actually started in the first 3 rows.
Oh, wow.
So that's the top 9 cars.
Wow.
But Tony Kanaan, my good friend, and you know Tony very well, now the team principal for Arrow McLaren, but also the 2013 Indy 500 champion. He always told me, and I truly do believe this, because I knew him intimately from when he and Elio first came up from karts in Brazil and raced in Indy Lights. And he said, in 2013, I had all but given up hope. I'd been fired from Andretti. I put together the deal to go race for Jimmy Vasser's team, but I'd given up the hope of winning the Indy 500. He said, and that's when the racing gods reminded me that you don't win the race. The Indy 500 chooses the winner.
Yeah, there you go.
There's so many. And I would highly recommend, for any of you out there, if you have not seen the documentary done on Bobby Rahal on his 40th anniversary of his storybook win, make sure that you go to Fox 1 and watch it. It was really moving for me because I played a role in it in Victory Lane with his owner, Jim Truman. All right, we're going to get back and take a look at some of the qualifying. But first, before we do that, I also need to remind you that if you want to experience IndyCar the way my partner Todd Ault does, from the very top of the pyramid, all you got to do is text one more lap to 31798. And John, no, that wasn't what I was doing. As I said, I was getting Todd's uniform ready for the Weenie 500. That's one more lap to 31798. And here's what you get if you are chosen. You get to go to an IndyCar race of your choice and watch it the way Todd does. If you're the winner, you get to go to the owner's stand. You're on pit road. And I saw Todd walking up and down pit road, hobnobbing with all the intelligentsia today during qualifying. You also get a fancy dinner before the race, private meet and greet with the owners and the drivers, and your very own black shirt with all of the Ault Racing logos. Said black shirt that I don't even have. Just text one more lap to 31798.
Well, you know, someone's winning these because I keep meeting new winners every time. Today I met some people from Make-A-Wish, Eric, who was a guest of Make-A-Wish Foundation. And John seems to have winners in there all the time in the pits. This guy's going to Laguna. Today we had him in the box, which is incredible. And I guess it's really exciting for people to do it. So hopefully they come out and join me. Yeah, hopefully they can come out and join me.
Think about it when you started, Todd.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna, I can tell you my dream. When I was a youngster, my dad would go to the Indianapolis 500, and of course he would leave the kids home because it was a guy's weekend out. And I would listen on the IndyCar Radio Network, the same radio network that's now powered by Only Bulls and actually where you're hearing this podcast right now. And I would listen to Sid Collins. And Sid Collins, Freddie Agabation from from Champion Spark Plug was the color commentator. And I dreamed of it. I know you would have never done this to your son. I wanted to go to the Indy 500 from the time I was 5 years old. My dad convinced me that you could not go to the Indy 500 until you attained the age of 16.
Really?
Really. Now, that's cold.
It is cold,
that's
for sure.
Really cold.
It is for sure.
Okay. So I graduated from high school, from the Canterbury School, and what did I do? I skipped graduation and held him to his promise. At age 16, I went in 1969 to my very first Indianapolis 500. And I only missed last year's.
My first one was 2018. It was about 3,000 degrees here in Indy. I'll never forget it. Willpower won. Ed Carpenter came in second. It was, as Ed said to me one day, he's like, it doesn't matter if you come in second. There you go.
It's because, as Tony Stewart said, all second is first loser. Go back when you saw the reaction that Willpower had when he won the first year you attended.
Yeah.
Have you ever witnessed, because you travel all over the world, when you got the World Cup coming up and all of the sporting events and, the NBA playoffs, have you ever seen a level of emotion that is displayed by an Indy 500 champion.
Well, it's really hard to win here. And when you think about someone like Elio going for number 5, it's really hard to win. There's only, I think, been 75 winners in the 110 years. And think about the number of people on this earth, the number of people that have tried to race. It's a really difficult race to win. And, I really kind of thought Alex was out of it. And then he came roaring back, after barely getting in the top 12. So it tells you the best keep coming to the front. I was surprised. I thought Kirkwood would do a little bit better. And I really thought he was going to be super fast.
I thought the entire Andretti Global team, operation, they're on the schneid. There is something wrong there. And that happens sometimes. Okay. So let's think about, listen to the run by Joseph Newgarden, one of the favorites when they closed out the racetrack on Friday after 7 p.m.
Hey, is this right, by the way? Is Joseph starting 24th?
Yeah.
Wow.
Here's what happened with his qualification run. Call for number 1.
Joseph Newgarden through turn number 3, lets the car drift out wide once again, now bends it back to the left. Newgarden looking for the checkered flag this time by
230.474, 230.024, 229.977. Bumped it up a bit, 230.184 miles per hour. The 4-lap average for Joseph Newgarden, 230.165. He is the 8th fastest of 9 qualifiers. Graham Rahaal's 4-lap average, 229.017.
And he dropped from there like a stone. And it was very, very surprising. Then let's go to Team Penske. Let's go to the next one. That's Scotty Mack. I thought, again, and you were there, everybody was talking about the Penskes didn't go out for the morning warm-up today.
Right.
They were playing it, their hands close to the vest.
Right.
What happens? McLaughlin falls off the cliff as well. Thank heavens they had little David. Listen to David Malukas' opening qualifying effort.
Only 0.04 of a mile an hour quicker than Connor Daly. He'll need another 231.7 at least to be able to stay provisionally in the middle of row number 2, but looks like one of the contenders for the Firestone Fast 6. Here comes the Chicago native, David Malukas, out of 4.
Lap number 3 was 231.604 miles per hour. David Malukas scoots it across the yard of bricks. Lap number 4, 231.904. The 4-lap average, good enough provisionally for the middle of row 1.
You gotta like the kid. Okay, look at from when he first showed up at St. Pete for the first drive for Roger Penske. I always laugh because you can see, and this happened with Scotty Mack, when you get Penskeized. Do you know what getting Penskeized calls for?
No.
You are issued black dress pants, cleanly pressed and starched white shirts with the Team Penske logo. That's the Penskeization. David Malukas looking real. Malukas looking real sharp. Yeah.
You know what's good is, John pointed this out. Row 5 is the old man's row.
Yeah, you're right.
You got Sato, you got Carpenter, and you got. I think Castroneves has 26 starts at the Indy 500. If I'm wrong, I might be wrong. How many starts does Castroneves have?
I believe you're right. Yeah.
And then you got 23, I think, for Carpenter, and I don't know how many for Sato, but like the combined age is probably 140 there.
Well, Sato is 54. Elio, I believe, is 51.
Hey, there you go. So you got 105.
And Carpenter, you've surpassed the century mark.
Yeah, you're basically 140 or something on.
So
on
we'll call
5.
that the Geritol roll.
Right.
Roll.
Right.
All right.
No, I don't know about that. But listen, the interesting thing is, people won from that row before, right? Obviously, we saw Newgarden do that one year next to Daly, and Scotty Mack still looked fast. I think he actually is going to be competitive. He's starting 9, so he still has a great chance. That guy's very fast. And last year on the warm-up lap when he crashed, I felt terrible for him. Oh my God, he must have just hated that so bad. I cannot imagine how much it was in his head that he ran in after just warming up the tires.
The first one to do it.
And he had a big crash, I think, in qualifying or whatever. Or was it qualifying or practice? So
the final day of practice.
Yeah. A big crash.
Totally destroyed his main car. Yeah.
Right. So and then he gets in a crash right as the race starting. So I got to assume he's out for blood this year. And I thought he looked, even though he's ninth, I thought he looked pretty good.
Look, I think that, and I wanted to point out, let's remember, Joseph Newgarden was relegated to the back row with the disqualification 1 year ago.
Right.
We were talking about who's won from the back row. He came to the front, and it was a mechanical failure late in the race. I'm telling you, you don't win the Indianapolis 500. The gods of Indy choose who the winner shall be.
Sure, for sure.
I'm going to go to church. And not that I have anything against Alex Palou, but I'm going to light at least a dozen candles and pray to Our Lady of Racing. Please, can it be anybody but Palou?
Oh, really?
Is that too harsh?
I think it's a little harsh. I mean, I'm
it's a little harsh. Okay.
I mean, I like watching excellence, and this is just excellence in the making, right?
Well, here's why. The guy that's going to be starting in the middle of row 2, the wild man, Santino Ferrucci. I heard a great story. A.J. Foyt is a close personal friend of mine, in his 90s now, looking terrific after several years where nobody was really sure if he was going to be able to keep coming back to Indy. And I did not know this. It was shared with me this year that when A.J. won his first Indianapolis 500, he got to shake the hand of the first winner of the Indianapolis 500, was introduced to Ray Haroon.
No way, really?
Okay, really. So let's fast forward. They had come up, and I'm suggesting maybe you should do this. Get John on this. Whoever wins an Indy 500 should have to shake the hand of A.J. Foyt. That way, the legacy of 110 Indianapolis 500s will continue. You like that?
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I was going to, something John keeps pointing out to me that I actually felt like I noticed if John verified, which was, it's been a really safe month. There was no crashes in practice. There was no crashes in qualifying. And usually I'm kind of waiting for someone in turn 2 or turn 4 for the back end to come out a little bit or something. But the entire time at those speeds, 232 miles an hour plus, in some corners, 240 plus miles an hour. Not a single crash in practice, not a single crash in qualifying. And the cars are incredible.
Well, here's my theory about that. You knew going in that everyone was going to make the show. And then you got all your running in. And then I think the entire apple cart in terms of the checklist got tossed upside down when yesterday was entirely rained out. Right. And you and I both agree wholeheartedly that's one of the most dramatic days in racing.
Right.
And the fact that there wasn't any of that pressure, I think everybody minded their P's and Q's.
Not going to lie, I was a little depressed. I actually was a little bummed. I really don't like missing Saturdays. And granted, I've not been here as long as everybody else. I think this is it might be my 7th or 8th maybe 8th Indy 500. I was a little bummed. I was bummed to not see what happens. And for those people who get to experience it, it's just an amazing thing. There was a big crowd here today, too.
They announced it was over 60,000.
Yeah, per qualifier.
Now,
it's incredible.
Now, that just attests the rising popularity of IndyCar. Again, the Indianapolis 500, every reserve seat is sold out. That means it's even more important for you if you want to go to get on board with Todd's Only Bulls operation and just text one more lap to 31798. But the thing that I find amazing is, and you've been to enough, in fact, you've hosted enough people, and I've heard you quote it, the largest single day spectator turnout for a sporting event is the Indianapolis 500. In its heyday, the second largest crowd was pole position qualifying day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's back when there was a lot of cars trying to do it.
Yeah, well, it's actually too. I mean, and that was historically of interest for true race fans, even local racing. My family's racetrack. I remember growing up. I mean, the heat races, they started at 6 o'clock. I damn well wanted to make sure I was in my seat. Now nobody wants any of that. They don't want the prelude. What they want is they want it fast, they want it quick, and they want it entertaining. Well, IndyCar certainly checks all those boxes.
Well, I want to tell you, last night we got a chance to meet some of the Only Bull fans, and Ben Bankus, the comedian, was over at Helium here in Indy, and we brought Ben Bankus to qualifying today. Ben is a super funny comedian. If you like his kind of comedy, I happen to like his kind of comedy. And he got to see the museum, which is redone. My wife tells me the museum is incredible. So hopefully everyone can check out the new Indy Museum when they come here, because apparently everyone going there is raving about it. But obviously, if you're a member of Only Bulls, you'll get notifications about racing, because we love racing, etc. But I was really in a treat last night to see Ben, and I brought a lot of people there, about 20 people to the Helium. Then he was here today, and that's what's great. He's a new Indy fan. He brought a couple people with him. I think he's going to come back for the Indy 500 next week. And getting a guy like him who has millions of fans is incredible, to get people like that to talk about Indy. So that's what we need, more people talking about the greatest race around.
Well, certainly the Fox team has done an incredibly great job, as has the IndyCar Radio Network, powered by Only Bulls.
Sure.
But the bottom line is, when you look at competing, I read a story about Formula One, who signed that multi-gazillion dollar deal with Apple TV.
Sure.
That all of a sudden it's yielding the money, but it's not yielding the viewership here in the United States of America. NASCAR has been battling, an audience that was getting older and older, and trying to figure out how to appeal to Gen Z. Meanwhile, on the upswing, and beyond incrementally, is the popularity of IndyCar. Consistently now on a national Fox television network, consistently drawing over 1 million viewers. And that's not even counting all the shoulder programming that they are doing is absolutely amazing. In fact, tonight, James Hinchcliffe, I think it's a little bit later tonight, and I can't remember whether it's Fox 1 or Fox 2, FS2, they're going to bring, the race for immortality. And he is going to go through that same museum you talked about, Todd.
Sure.
And just talk about what it means to drivers. People don't understand, before we sign off, that there was a moment when Al Unser Jr. won his very first Indianapolis 500, and it became part of the culture of the Indy 500. It was when he pulled into Victory Lane, and he and I are very good friends. And he wasn't supposed to win that day. In fact, his race car, the Gallmer, was a pig. Okay, it really was bad. But a turn of events, cold weather, and just the way things went. Then I said, Al, congratulations, you're an Indy 500 champion. And he broke into tears, and you've seen it, I've seen it.
Sure.
On Wide World of Sports, and he tearfully said, you don't know what Indy means.
Sure. Well, you know who does know what Indy means? It's Roger Penske and Penske family, and they sold part of the IndyCar series to Fox. They sold part of the IMS Motor Speedway to Fox, and Fox made a commitment to put the greatest racing around on TV, on all the channels, not over the top, but on regular broadcast. And it's going to make a long-term difference in what they're doing in terms of investing in the sport. And in a world where I'm involved in AI, even Only Bulls has AI in it, and you don't know what's real anymore and what's not any real.
Yeah.
Live racing, this kind of sport, is you can't recreate it anymore. You can't recreate 110 years of IndyCar. You can't recreate what Fox is doing, how great the broadcasts are now, how great the coverage is, the people they have involved. I saw Danica today. Jack Harvey's been fun. He's now in the car. Davey Hamilton's, calling his races. This is the greatest stuff ever. Tony Kanaan at Team McLaren. Cindric back calling the race for Scotty Mack. This is just great stuff, and it's live and it's real. And the Penske's
and it's raw.
And the Penske's have brought this now to Fox, and Fox is committed to it and owns part of the series. And I just think it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Listen, everyone's stepping up. Even though there was only 33 cars, there wasn't all the drama. There was a little drama with the rain, but it was still fun to watch Alex win the pole. And Alexander Rossi, who, by the way, He did not give anyone the bird. He did not give him the finger, by the way. He was just upset. I looked at all the tape. He didn't do it, but
he did?
I don't think he did it.
Review?
I don't think he did it. But listen, that's what
we can disagree.
That's what racing is. You saw Roman like screwing it up with Meyer Shank last weekend. That's racing. This is real. Fox is making it real. The Penske family's making it real. Their commitment to being on Fox and what they're doing, and even in IndyCar Radio, taking on sponsorship. Everyone's trying to push it forward. I'm trying to get new fans. I bring them every week. I bring new fans, people who have never been here. I'm bringing almost 200 people to the Indy 500 next week.
You've come a long way, my friend, from when you used to just listen on the radio.
That's right. That's right.
And
listen to you.
Part of the Indy 500.
The agony of defeat. Sorry. This is like I'm a kid I'm a schoolboy, getting to come to Indy every year and meet all the people that race, and it's just incredible.
Well, that puts a lid on our coverage of the pole position qualifying for the Indy 500 presented by Gainbridge. We will be back next week, and you'll be able to hear us analyze the results of the greatest spectacle in racing. My thanks goes out to Chris Pollock of the IndyCar Network, powered by Only Bulls, who is the executive producer. Hard at work with sound bites and just keeping us on the air, Corbin Lingenfelter. He is our one more lap around producer. And then there is John Stewart, who I insist is a doppelganger for John Hamm, the actor. From the Seismic Agency, my thanks to you, Todd, as well. We'll be together in Speedway, Indiana, and getting ready for the 110th rendition of the Indianapolis 500. Hope that you all will enjoy it. So long, until then.
Chevy Power behind Alexander Rossi, coming through turn number 4, looking for the checkered flag.
Lap number 3 was 231.710 miles per hour. Lap number 4 is in the books for Alexander Rossi, 231.645. The 4-lap average, an impressive 231.990. The
Malukas
first
is trying to get himself one of the poles here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for Penske.
About a third of the way up the backstretch, he started to go low, then starts to drift it high now. Malukas works his way through turn number 3. Again, nice stability for Malukas.
He got the first pole of his IndyCar career earlier this season at Phoenix. Can he get the big one here at Indy?
High 231s on all 3 laps for David Malukas. We'll see what he does on lap number 4 as he sees the checkered flag fly. 232.073. David Malukas, second
very good exiting turn number 3.
And smooth into turn 4 as well. He's at the quarter exit, heading south to the Yard of Bricks.
231.990, the 4-lap average for Alexander Rossi. Did he do it? Alex Palou, lap number 4, 231.955. Yes, he did. The 4-lap average, 232.248 miles per hour.
I'm glad. I'm super happy that we got the pole today, but the work that we need to do ahead is huge.
This podcast is a paid advertisement by Seismic Media Partners on behalf of Only Rules. IndyCar does not endorse any product or service offered in this podcast. Investing of any kind involves risk. Listeners should not rely on statements made during the podcast for purposes of making any investment decision. Please consult with a qualified professional before investing.